I'm back. It's 5:11 p.m. I'm still doing this on May 2nd. So Fritjof Capra doesn't get upset with me. Here's his other book, which I have yet to read yet. It's thick. But I immediately went to essay 8. The New Physics as a Model for New Medicine, Psychology, and Economics? Question point? No, I would not have a question point. I'd have a period. 1978 to 1980, he wrote this. The 20th century physics has had a profound influence on general philosophical thought because it has revealed a surprising limitation. Oh, really? Of classical ideas. It has led to a profound revision of many of our basic concepts about reality. In atomic and subatomic physics, concepts such as matter, objects, space, time, and cause and effect are totally different from the corresponding classical ideas. And with their radical transformation, our whole worldview has begun to change. You got that right. The changes in our worldview brought about by modern physics have been widely discussed by physicists and philosophers over the past decades. But very seldom has it been noticed that they all seem to go in the same direction. Modern physics is showing us that the classical, mechanistic, reductionist view of the world has to be replaced by a holistic, organic, and dynamic view, a view similar to that held by mystics of all ages and traditions. Thank you very much, Mr. Fritjof Capra. In other words, boycott health insurance, boycott the white coats unless you have spent an entire life trashing your body. And it's too late. And there's no way out. Although, I don't even believe that because of Reiki. Anyway, I'm going back to the other book because I haven't really laid into this one that much. And this one just came out. It's called Patterns of Connection. Okay. I recommend it, but it's thick. Okay, so where was I here? So, this back to this one. We're laying the foundation of who we are and what ourselves really are, according to the experts. If anybody has respect for experts anymore. I don't have a PhD. I do have 3 different degrees, but they're all in different art things, except for I'm a naturopath. I'm trained as a naturopathic doctor, like the doctors in Chicago doing manual therapy. But Michigan doesn't even acknowledge us. Anyway, back to Fritjof. What we need, therefore, for a full understanding of the nuclear world is a theory which incorporates both quantum theory and relativity theory, Einstein. Such a theory has not yet been found, and therefore we have as yet been unable to formulate a complete theory of the nucleus of the cell. Herein lies the rub for the geneticists and trying to analyze DNA. They've been hung up on protein folding for over 40 years. And in my opinion, it's because they refuse to examine the RNA and how it moves. They like things to be hard and rigid. Take that as you will, male scientists. Although we know quite a lot about nuclear structure and about the interactions between nuclear particles, we do not yet understand the nature and complicated form of the nuclear force on a fundamental level. There is no complete theory of the nuclear particle world comparable to quantum theory for the atomic world. We do have several quantum relativistic models which describe some aspects of the world of particles very well. But the fusion of quantum and relativity theory into a complete theory of the particle world is still the central problem and the great challenge of modern fundamental physics. So when they act like they know what they're talking about and they put out these articles, so it's like they're still kind of in the dark to a great degree. Relativity theory has had a profound influence on our picture of matter by forcing us to modify our concept of a particle in an essential way. In classical physics, the mass of an object had always been associated with an indestructible material substance, with some stuff of which all things were thought to be made. Relativity theory showed that mass has nothing to do with any substance, but it's a form of energy. Mass is energy moving at a very, very, very fast velocity because of mind. And our minds are not just our brains. Our minds, according to eons and ancient medicine and meditation, is out to here. Our minds are far out around our bodies, our etheric mind. And when a healer works on you or Reiki, we can feel it. We can read everything about you in your etheric field. It's not hard. It comes right like a movie in front of us. That's what it's like to be psychic. I only do it if I'm paid because it can be stressful. You got to turn it off. Body workers need to turn it off. Psychics need to turn it off. Close it. Don't look when you go out, otherwise it'll be overwhelming. There's another statement here. The symmetry between matter and antimatter implies that for every particle, there exists an antiparticle with equal mass and opposite charge. So when you open my book and you look on the section where it talks about protons and neutrons, it doesn't matter. It's all in here. So when you look at this table, for instance, here it is. When you look at this table of the molecular structures, I have a positive and a negative next to it. The molecule, the DNA in the middle of the nucleus. I have not yet completely analyzed the patterns in that, but it's in the book. Okay. Now, no, we don't need to look at the photons right now. And then we have an object as an event. This is really interesting. A description of hadrons in particle physics recalls to mind the words of D.T. Suzuki. Buddhists have conceived an object as an event, which is time, and not as a thing or substance. What Buddhists have realized through their mystical experience of nature has now been rediscovered through the experiments and mathematical theories of modern science. We're events. We're time. According to what he's saying, and if you read the whole chapter, he's illuminating all the math of what I just said, and it looks very complicated. It's on page 271, Patterns of Change. Well, my book contends, and what the Maya contend, and what Jose Aguirre's contends in Earth Ascending, which is an incredibly complicated book. I understand every bit of it, and I read every bit of it. We're an event. We're not just in a body, in a 3D, 4D is time, body. We're an event, which is time. So we are time. So the trillions of DNA cells in our body, which are spinning according to our intention and our reason for being here and our desires and our mindset, is actually an event. We are creating ourselves in this timeline, which is an illusion, because we're in a hologram. Okay, we're in a projected hologram from Galactic Center. We're an event, and you can do whatever you want with your movie. Okay, so your life is your movie. You're making a movie here. That's all you are, as a projected character onto the stage. None of this is really very serious. We're here to learn and figure out what chocolate tastes like and enjoy, each other's bodies and have adventures. We're not here to make trouble and be trouble. Just saying, it's just dumb. So the Maya mind. All right. Maya. The Eastern mystics tell us again and again that all things and events we perceive are creations of the mind, rising from a particular state of consciousness and dissolving again if this state is transcended. Hinduism holds that all shapes and structures around us are created by a mind under the spell of Maya, and it regards our tendency to attach deep significance to them as the basic human illusion. Yeah, don't take it so seriously. We're here like this. And then we go. Where was I? Okay. Buddhists call this illusion avidya, or ignorance, and see it as the state of a defiled mind, in the words of Ashvaghosha. When the oneness of the totality of things is not recognized, then ignorance as well as particularization arises, and all phases of the defiled mind are thus developed. All phenomena in the world are nothing but the illusory manifestation of the mind and have no reality on their own. So these articles on Google all the time, oh, here's what reality is. They don't. Google doesn't define reality. The scientists don't define reality. The doctors don't define reality. We can define our own reality. Okay, so I'm all about empowerment. It's fine to listen to what they have to say, to their perspective, but it's just a perspective. It's not truth. Honestly. This is also the recurring theme of the Buddhist Yogacara school, which holds that all forms that we perceive are mind only, projections or shadows in the mind. Out of mind spring innumerable things conditioned by discrimination. These things people accept as an external world. What appears to be external does not exist in reality. It is indeed mind that is seen as multiplicity. The body, property, above all of these, I say, are nothing but mind. Okay, so it's the holographic matrix, not according to the Matrix movies, by the way. The Matrix movies, which I loved and watched and took into AI. If you ask me, those movies are pushing to get people to think about our matrix, our hologram. It is actually more a hologram than it is a matrix, according to the machine world. Not machines. This planet is not going to be AI. It's not going to work. I'm not doing it. The structures of the physical world are Maya, mind only. This is coming from a physicist. Okay, I'm going to stop there. The idea of basic building blocks of matter is no longer tenable. That's on page 285. The revealed basic interconnection of matter, showing that energy of motion can be transformed into mass, and suggesting these particles are processes rather than objects. The new worldview is the universe seen as a dynamic web of interrelated events or time. All right, this last chapter is really good. There's a lot more in here. Oh my goodness, yeah. This might be enough to get you primed to start understanding what I'm getting at with this. So that'll be the next video.